2014 graduation ceremony. It is with great honor and pleasure that I introduce our commencement speaker. Miss Kim Cousins and I go back a long, long ways. And boy, when they say, I've seen it all, I teach, Kim and I have a lot of great stories that we could share on another occasion, but she's a phenomenal person, a great friend, and it has been a wonderful opportunity to have you serve on the founding board of directors for ASPVA. She continues to serve as our advisory board member, and she is our interim director in the need that I need to be off campus. So we're very, very honored. Kim Cousins recently completed 33 years in education and retired as the principal from Dripping Springs High School. Prior to working in Dripping Springs ISD, she was employed with the Lake Travis Independent School District as high school assistant principal for 3 years and principal at Hudson Bend Middle School for 5 years. Before moving to Austin, Kim was employed with the Clear Creek Independent School District as its athletic director for 8 years. She was the second female athletic director hired in the state of Texas. Her career began as a teacher in 6th through 8th grade for 8 years in the Goose Creek Independent School District. Kim has a bachelor's degree in health and physical education from Texas A&M and a Master of Education degree in secondary education from Stephen F. Austin State University. While serving as principal at Dripping Springs High School, the campus was rated exemplary in 2011, earned the College Readiness Award from the Texas ACT Council in 2010 and 2012, and was recognized multiple times by the AP College Board for one of the most successful and fastest growing programs in the nation. The high school maintained a graduation rate of 99%, with 93% pursuing higher education. The campus has also been recognized each year during her leadership by the Washington Post and Newsweek magazine as one of the top 1% of high schools in the nation that serves students in well over 39,000 public and private schools. She was recognized by the state of Texas House of Representatives on April 24, 2013 for her years of service and accomplishments in the field of education. She is presented at numerous state and national conferences related to education. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Kim Cousins to the stage.
I'm so excited to be here. When Carol called me about a month ago, she said, would you like to be our keynote speaker at graduation? Who? Me? Yeah. I said, well, who have you had in the past? So she named off a couple of different people, and I'm like, I don't know that I put myself in that category, but you know what? I've been working at this school throughout the year. I know each one of these students, and I would be honored to speak today. So I'm thrilled to have this opportunity today, and basically this is for Alyssa, Luz, and Kayla. Alyssa, I'll never forget watching you in your theater classes. You got a pretty mean serve, and oh yeah, I like the red hair. Luz, your voice carries through the building, the way you sing and the way you play that flute. Those are sounds I'm never going to forget. Kayla, watching you and dance. I would go upstairs to that 3rd floor, out of breath, and sit there and watch you dance, and you make it look so easy and so simple. And I'm going to miss passing you on Highway 290. I think we passed each other the last 2 days in a row. So I'm so proud of you girls. So look at commencement. It's not the beginning of a new step in your, it's a new beginning for a new step in your life. Be proud of what you accomplished and dream bigger dreams. This is a major thing that you have achieved today, but now I want you to go and begin the achievement that you dreamed of. So when I was thinking of putting this speech together, I thought, wow, I just completed 33 years of what I always wanted to do. I wanted to serve students anywhere that I could in a capacity in education. So I picked being a teacher, went to college and got that degree. So I thought after it was all said and done, what did the students think of me? So they made a tape for me when I graduated last year and presented it to me at one of my retirement parties. And they interviewed all of these students just to see, what did you think of Miss Cousins? I mean, what was she like? What did you think? And they just pulled random kids. There were like 1,300 kids in the high school, and I think they interviewed about 50. And I kind of want to share with you what they said about me. What were the common words that came up when they interviewed these students as it was all said and done at the end of 33 years? She was inspirational. She was supportive, caring, good sense of humor, dedicated to her job, a strong leader, a sense of passion. I like that one. Coming from high school kids, I thought that was pretty good. Smart, funny, cool, always smiling. Sometimes even wore her slippers to school, and she was a life changer. So when I look back and reflect on that career, what are the things that were important to me after it was all said and done that I thought attributed to my success? That's 6 things I want to share with you today, and I promise you this is not a long speech. The first thing is to be happy. I looked at these kids when they described me, they said she had a smile on her face every day. You gotta know in the life of a high school principal, there's a lot of bad stuff that goes on. But it's nobody else's business. You pick that head up and you carry yourself through the halls and you have a smile on your face and you give what you can to others. The definition to me of happiness, of success, is happiness, being happy. If you enjoy what you're doing, then it's never gonna feel like work. My son always wanted me to have a better job. He would sit with me in my classroom at the beginning of the year and say, "Gosh, Mom, you're so good at what you do. And I can't believe the amount of money that you make. And why don't you go out and do something that pays a lot of money?" My very first teaching job when I graduated from college back in 1980, I had a choice of 2 positions I was offered. One paid $9,000 a year, $9,000 a year. The other one was $18,900 a year. And I had a choice. I'm like, wow, I'm going to pick the $18,000 one, see where it gets me. And my son said, "Man, I can't believe that's all you're making. You're so good. Just go do something else." And what I told my son was my reward was always measured by the success of students, never in dollars and cents. The second thing I want you to remember to do is to be reflective. Set goals and take time to look at the accomplishments that you have completed. Listen to the people that know you best and the people that you respect the most. Always remain competitive. Always strive to work harder and to do more. I'm often reminded of what great people do to become successful, and there's this little phrase that's always stuck in my head. It's called "and then some." Because you look at a professional athlete or you look at a star performer, they don't just show up and do what's required. They do just a little bit more, and it makes them better than everybody else. So my favorite little phrase is called "and then some." Have that competitive edge and always do your best. The third thing is do not be afraid to fail. I can tell you I made some mistakes along the way, and I want to tell you a little bit of story about a mistake that I made that I remember in all my years of education. When I was hired as principal at Hudson Bend Middle School, I was like, man, I want to promote climate in the faculty. I want to get everybody all fired up, put them in a good mood, recognize them in front of the faculty. And so I want to recognize teachers who are always doing something good for others. So I go to my first Christmas party. It's faculty, it's a white elephant party, those little things where you open gifts that nobody wants. So I opened this little gift and everybody went, "Oh my God, she got that gift." Okay, well it's this little porcelain china doll, and I guess it's okay. That's been passed around at every faculty party for like the last 10 years and nobody wants it. Now you got it. Okay, modern to get this little china doll. So I took it back to my office and I sat it on my shelf and I thought, I want to come up with a way to make everybody like that china doll. I'm going to make that china doll the coolest thing in school because nobody wants the china doll and nobody gets it. So I sat in my office over the summer, planned for the next year, and I thought I'm going to recognize a teacher who does really great things for kids, and I'm going to present them with the china doll. So I go into my first faculty meeting, and I get this girl up there. She's a brand new teacher. People didn't even know who she was. I said, "Come on up. I want to talk about you and how great you are with kids and what I've noticed you do." So she came up and said a couple of things about her, and I said, "I have this great award for you today. You were the first recipient of the china doll." And I pulled this china doll out and I gave it to her. She got a standing ovation. Everybody went crazy. They're clapping, they're crying, they're happy, they're everything. And I'm like, okay, this is the china doll. nobody wanted this thing 6 months ago as a white elephant gift at the party. Now it seems to be the coolest thing in the building. The teachers would take it to the room and put it on their shelf. The teacher that won had to pick the next teacher. And they had to go around and find teachers that were doing really good things for kids, and they would recognize them at the faculty meeting. Well, after a couple of years, we had a little turnover, and we were giving the award out one day, and we gave it to a teacher, and he came up and he's like, well, I don't know what's the deal with this China doll, but, thanks, pretty cool deal, whatever. I just died when he accepted that China doll like that. I said, well, I'm going to have to kill a China doll and get a new award. We've got this new faculty, we've got new people moving in, so let me change what we're doing. In the meantime, one of the students goes to the bathroom, and they find a bat in the bathroom on the floor, and it's dead. Thank God they didn't touch it. We had to call animal control. They had to come and pick up the bat. That little sucker had rabies. So we had to do an investigation in the school, make sure nobody had rabies. Everybody turned out cool, but I thought, wow. Then I was going through a fast food restaurant one day, and they were getting little bat awards. I think it was something about the Congress Avenue Bridge or something, I don't know. I said, well, I'm going to take that bat, and we're going to bury the China doll at the next faculty meeting, and we're going to introduce the bat, and we're going to give the bat award. So I have this guy who was retired from the military, plays silver taps, got his little bugle out, and he played. And we took the China doll, we put it in a shoebox, we put a napkin over it, and we brought out the bat. And he gave the bat to this teacher. Well, about like how you were looking right now, the noise level that's in here, that's what happened when the bat came out. People were devastated. The teachers started crying. They didn't want to finish the faculty meeting, and I'm like, I have failed. I have made a really, I knew it when it happened, and I just was sunk in my seat in the library, the faculty meeting. Like, oh my God. I went home and told my husband, I said, I failed today. He says, well, honey, what'd you do? I mean, it couldn't be that bad. I buried the China doll and brought out the bat, and they're devastated. They're devastated that they have lost this China doll. Now, honey, 6 years ago, nobody wanted the China doll, and now they want the China doll. So a couple of people came into my office the next day, and they said, Miss Cousins, we don't want to be rude or disrespectful, but we want to talk to you about this China doll thing. You have just crushed the morale around here. You've killed the climate, and we want that China doll back. I'm like, we're going to have a resurrection of the China doll the next faculty meeting. So I talked to this guy. We called an emergency faculty meeting the next day. We got the box, the shoe box, with the little Kleenex over it, and brought it back out to the faculty meeting. We recognized the guy that got the bat award, and we put the bat in the box and took the China doll out and gave it to the teacher, and it was the coolest thing ever, and students couldn't wait to see the next month who got the China doll on their desk. So when I'm talking about don't be afraid to fail, things are going to happen in your career and things are going to happen in your life, but who are you going to listen to and how are you going to respond? I hope you remember the story about the China doll. So I grabbed my competitive spirit and I said I was always going to do better the next time. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from doing great things. You cannot succeed without risk of failure, and life is about sustaining, rebounding, and responding. We're already moving to number 4. Look behind open doors. They are always going to be there for a reason. Things are going to take you through your path in life that you don't predict today. You don't know when you're going to wind up moving. You don't know when you're going to relocate. You don't know when family matters are going to happen. Things are going to happen for a reason. I was going to go to college. I was going to get a degree in education and just be little Miss Susie school teacher for the rest of my life. I was going to die in that classroom, and that's all I was going to do. Doors opened. I moved to another town, and when my second district that I wound up working with, I met my son's teacher one day. And she said, well, who are you and what do you do? And I told her a little bit about me. Well, we have an opening for an assistant athletic director in our district. I think you should apply for that job. Not me, honey. I am not a head football coach, and I am not what they're looking for. Long story short, I turned my resume in. All they could do was tell me no. Wound up getting the job as this assistant athletic director, and 6 months later, the athletic director walked in and he said, I'm retiring. Oh, well, I guess we'll get a new athletic director. No, I think they'd like to consider you as the athletic director. I said, well, there's no athletic directors in the state of Texas, and if they are, they're men, and they coach football. And I'm a female. I've not played football. I've not participated in it, and you're telling me I would be the boss of the 3 head high school football coaches in the district. This was a district of 30,000 children, 3 5A high schools, 8 middle schools, and 29 elementaries, and I would run the whole thing with no assistant and a part-time secretary. It went to the board, it was voted on, it was 7-0. It was the coolest thing. I was afraid to look behind the open door, but my pathway changed and I moved to another town, and here was this opportunity. It was an open door and it changed my life. It changed the ending to my story of who I am today. The one thing that you cannot fix in life are the regrets. Number 5, sense of humor. You've got to have a sense of humor. And I think I related best with kids when I had a sense of humor. I was known for those stilettos every day. Walking the halls with stilettos, I could tell you, we hear Miss Cousin's coming, here she comes, we hear those stilettos, even during a fire drill, and we better act right. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what, I'm just gonna change it up a little bit. I'm just gonna wear my little house slippers with my little dress to school tomorrow. They loved it. They thought, she is stepping out of her comfort zone. She is being as casual as she can, and we like that about her, and we can relate to her. I mean, they would see me places at the grocery store or at church or in a restaurant. Oh, you eat too? I sure do. I would dance in the faculty dances. I would dress up on dress-up day, and I can tell you I'm a terrible dancer. I am absolutely awful, but you know what? The kids liked me dancing in the faculty dances. They didn't care how good I was. Our principal's out there. Is your principal out there? Ours is pretty cool. We like that she's letting her hair down. And another thing that they knew me for was the overuse of a word. We all have this word we say over and over and over. Mine is the word really. I would use that word in a faculty meeting, I would use it in a speech, I would use it in a conversation, and I would use it in a planning session. So it got to where people would just walk down the hall and go, really? 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 So I wrote down that. I'm trying to put that one behind me. The last one, but to me the most important, is to be confident. I was described as inspirational, smart, and a strong leader. And what did I do? Every time I walked into a room, I made sure that I held my head high, which is what I want you to do. I want you to throw those shoulders back, and I want you to be proud of who you are. You see, everybody is going to have an opportunity to pass through your world. It's their opportunity. You are who you are, and you are a phenomenal person. You're some of the most talented students I've ever seen. And these people are going to have this opportunity to pass through your world. How will you carry yourself in life, and what will people notice about you when you walk into a room? You all have a unique talent and gift. Use it to your best ability. Always walk proud of who you are. Hold your head high and allow others an opportunity to walk through that world. In the end, success is not going to be measured by your money or your possessions, but rather by the mark that you leave on the places that you visit and the people that will be around you. How do you want to be remembered? What words are going to describe you at the end of your career? We make a living based on what we get, but we make a life based on what we give. Selflessness is the best thing you can do for yourself and others. Please be kind to one another. So go forward and do your best. And remember, be happy. Reflect at times. Don't be afraid to fail. Look behind the open doors. Have a sense of humor and be confident in everything you do. It was an honor to speak to you today, and I think you're some of the greatest students I've ever met in my life. Thank you.